Welcome back, Sideboard Podcast listeners. This is Caleb Williamson checking in with our co-host here, Timothy Clunt.
How's it going, everyone?
Not too bad. Going pretty good here in Fresno, except for the fires, but at least the weather cooled off a bit.
Yeah, it cooled off a little bit, but I feel like the smoke and the ash has gotten a lot worse this last week.
Yeah, definitely send your prayers to the firefighters and everyone taking care of that, and hopefully we get some rain soon to help with the ash and everything. Anyways, today we have a few topics we wanted to talk about with you guys. I know it's kind of like this limbo season of Set 11's not quite out yet, but you know, we have a lot of the all the spoilers are out, and so everyone's excited and just getting ready to get product and play and everything. So we just wanted to go over a couple of things about kind of our Dragon Ball downtime experience and what we do on the regular. Tim, did you want to just kind of talk about that a little bit? What do you do when you have downtime with DBS, whether it be playing other games or, you know, when you get ready for an event? Like, how does that look?
So when I'm in downtime for DBS, or like even when I was in downtime for Magic, I tried to make sure I was playing other types of games so that I didn't hit burnout. Because that's one of the big reasons I came over to DBS for Magic was I was playing a whole lot of legacy events and modern events, you know, traveling around California for 2-3 months, and I just got super burnt out because that's all I was doing.
Yeah.
So I learned from that. I try to, you know, play a variety of games during downtime. Right now I'm playing quite a bit of Among Us. That game is sweet.
Yeah, it seems really fun. I've been, you know, wanting to get into it, just haven't pulled the trigger yet.
Yeah, it's definitely worth it. I know it's only $5 on Steam, but it is also on mobile, and I'm pretty sure it's free for mobile.
Yeah, it is.
But I've been doing that, you know, looking at DBS stuff a little bit, but not focusing a whole bunch on it during the downtime. Probably should look at it a little bit more because we're getting pretty close to Set 11 releasing. But yeah, and just kind of watch stuff that pops up here and there. Some of the community streamers and YouTube videos I'll watch, you know, every couple of days or something like that. And then obviously the thousands of Facebook notifications from the group.
Yeah, right. We get lots from the multiple groups. Yeah, that's pretty cool. I mean, I try to do the same thing because, you know, you don't really, unless you're like making money or you really love a certain game, you kind of want to, in my opinion, have some variety. And that's just kind of the way my lifestyle is, where I play a lot of different things, a lot of different hobbies.
Yeah, honestly, it's kind of the same as like what kids are supposed to do with sports. They're not really supposed to hone in on one sport early on because it can fatigue and damage their growth throughout the rest of their body if they're only exercising, you know, one or two specific things. So it's not exactly the same with this, but kind of relatable in the sense that, you know, you don't want to get burnout, so kind of diversify, play some stuff in your downtime that's not Dragon Ball or not a card game, you know, with other friends and stuff like that, just to kind of clear your brain a little bit.
Yeah, it's kind of one of those things where being a competitive gamer, you have to deal with, you know, like you're saying, the burnout and all that. It's kind of interesting, though, thinking back on it. As I was writing some of the topics for this episode, I was thinking, like, why is it that I don't just, I guess, have fun playing casually, which I do have fun playing casually, but it has to at some point be kind of a semi-competitive deck, you know?
Yeah.
And I was kind of like thinking to myself, like, part of the problem stems from when I do play competitively, my routine is we get ready for an event, you know, X amount of months ahead of time. We put it on the calendar, and then like a month or two before, we just start grinding. And it's like every day or every other day, play as many games as you can, you know, set your main deck in, and then once you get your main deck set, you run it through a gauntlet a few times, you start getting sideboard cards for your bad matchups and all that, you know, hence the name Sideboard Podcast. And so, you know, and then you run that through the gauntlet, and it's just like this really um, like, I don't know what the word is, tiring process, I guess, of like, you know, repetition, going game after game after game. And it's kind of like almost when that season hits, Dragon Ball's not a game anymore. It's kind of like a sport.
Yeah.
Like you're saying. And so COVID's kind of been fun for me because I haven't really been playing in any events. So I've been able to relearn how to enjoy the game and just kind of play like jank fun decks. Because we do still play like once a week. Me and, you know,
our group,
play either in my house or something like that. And I think I have like 10 decks built, which is like the most I've ever had at one point. Because usually it's like, all right, top 3 decks, have those built, you're good to go. But it's like when you go into like tier 2, tier 3 decks, you're like, there's tons.
Yeah, and honestly, I mean, you know me, I love playing like super hardcore competitive, like mirror matches kind of thing, ultra like competitive degen. That's the kind of thing I personally like, because I like to play games where it's not just like a battle of what's on the table. It's my brain versus your brain.
Yeah.
But also like when you get into like the real jank, like you said, tier 3 and beyond, and both people are doing that, that's also really fun. Because you start seeing cards that you're like, I didn't even know this existed.
Yeah, you're like, hold on, let me read this. What does this do?
I don't even know what my cards do.
Yeah, actually, that was like the other day. I had built Universe 6 because from Joey's video, he was like, U6 is actually pretty decent right now because there's not that many like. I mean, there's a lot of counters, but they're the same counters, if that makes sense. Like, we know which ones are being played because they're the best versions of them. And U6 isn't really affected by those too much. And so I built the deck and I was like having to go back and reread all the cards because I forgot how much text there was on the U6 cards.
Yeah, those have giant text boxes.
Yeah, they do. They do a lot of effects. And so, but yeah, it's just been really fun lately, honestly, playing Dragon Ball. And like most of the time I would be like stressing out at a new set coming out because I'd be like, oh, I got to get my product because I have to have these decks ready to be built and stuff. But now that there's not really any events, I'm like, well, I don't really have to buy that much product. You know, I can just buy singles and it's a lot less stressful. But at the same time, I do have in the back of my mind the TOP2 for next February. And
That's
so
right.
I'm like, what's the meta going to look like for that? Which nobody
there's still,
really knows.
Still a few products coming out between now and then also.
Yeah, like a good amount, I think.
But yeah, I definitely agree with you. It's been kind of nice having like a break, like a long break in the competitive season.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like you and I both, like we love that. So I'm definitely ready for it to come back.
Yeah, definitely.
It kind of feels, it's weird. It's like we're used to having that routine for the competitive season and scene, and it's just been gone for so long that it's like I don't really know what to do. Yeah,
it's like, you know, like I said, you have to relearn how to play jank and fun and just, you know, regular decks because you don't really, there's no real point to like grinding out the most competitive decks. I mean, sure, people like the top players are going to sit there and win these online events, but I mean, at the end of the day, what are you really winning? Like we're not winning a whole bunch of cash or something. And so, you know, it's like, just have fun.
Yeah. I mean, that's part of it. I know when, you know, we do our Untap or Octagon testing with the guys in town, yeah, I'd play like hard meta for a while, but then I'd throw in like a few like jank crazy idea decks, and sometimes they would work out and it would end up being like super insane, and sometimes I'm just like, why is this file on my computer?
Yeah, you just sort of like, okay, I skip, I don't want to play anymore,
and then the deck gets deleted.
Yep. I've been there before. Yeah, but so to our listeners, what have you guys been doing in your DBS downtime? Aside from those weekly online tournaments from the various TOs, like what decks have you been playing? Do you have any janky brews? Post them down in the comments and let us check them out. We're going to probably pick a couple of decks and talk about them on the next episode. So link those down in either the Facebook post or YouTube, or even send them to us via the messenger through the page and stuff. So we can see what you guys are playing, and maybe we'll play some janky matchups against each other and put that up on the YouTube for you guys.
Yeah, definitely. That sounds like it'd be a lot of fun, actually. Get some of our listeners involved, play some games with us.
Yeah, or at least build the decks for us, and we can play each other.
That's true. We could also do that.
Yeah, so
we can record those two and upload them.
Yep. Alrighty, well, speaking of the YouTube, we do have a little bit of housekeeping going. So YouTube, we have the link up there for the merch, right, Tim?
That is correct. I don't remember the exact link. It is through Streamlabs for my personal stream, because that was the easiest way for me to get it going. It is linked in the description, as well as on our Facebook page. We've got t-shirts, sweatshirts, I think a baseball tee, and a women's tee right now.
Yep. Yeah, so go ahead and check those out. Me and Tim actually bought a t-shirt each because, we want to make sure the product's good for you guys, and we made sure to pick a shirt because there's a lot of different brands of shirts you can pick. We made sure to pick one that was kind of nice and comfortable, and so...
and also affordable.
Yeah, it's not too expensive. So if you guys wanted to help us out, that's one way. And then our other way is we have a TCG affiliate link now. So if you wanted to buy some cards, it's as simple as clicking the link one time, and then what I do is I actually save the link as a bookmark, and so you can just click on it at the top of your Google tab or whatever browser you use instead of just the regular TCG, and it's essentially effortless, and we get a little cutback. It'll help us keep the channel going and grow into some other stuff, maybe get a couple of cameras or something so we can get some stream setups, and maybe one day bring you guys some like Saturday night fights or something like that.
Yeah, it's a great way. If you guys are, buying singles or sealed product or like accessories on TCGPlayer anyways, it's a great way to help support us, and it costs you literally nothing. We just get a tiny little kickback off of your purchase total.
Yep. Anyways, we appreciate all the support you guys have been giving us, and let's move on to our next topic, which is kind of just honestly. Like, I think this kind of got leaked in the page a bit, but I think it might have got taken down. But we got this from a unknown source, from some local people.
Yeah, I saw it this morning, afternoon, when I caught up on sleep from the last 5 or 6 days.
Yeah, but it's a link from JTS Distribution, and it's some talk about a new product coming in October. No, that's when the due date is. It releases in March of 2021. And I didn't really read it in depth. I just wanted to talk about it because I kind of think the listeners should know, like LGSs are going to know this stuff. And so I think the listeners should be informed about it, just kind of get hyped up a little bit. But anyways, it's kind of talking about like a new type of draft box sort of thing.
Yeah, it looks pretty cool. Essentially, it's replacing draft boxes, sort of.
Which I'm all for, because draft boxes are cool and all, but the pull rates are kind of trash because they want to balance it for drafting.
Yeah.
But the cards are always amazing.
Yeah, it kind of seems like this is going back a little bit closer to like the theme boosters. Because I know draft boxes took the place of theme boosters.
Mm-hmm. I think these are... because it says 68 new cards for theme decks.
Yeah, it's 12 cards per pack, 24 packs, and then 12 boxes per case. So it's like a normal set.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
So I think it's going to be a lot more similar to like the theme boosters.
Yeah, I hope that the distribution of it is more like actual sets as well then, because we all know the draft box debacle of just, not enough cards out there, and they're super essential in a lot of decks.
Yeah. I do want to read one little thing off of it, kind of just giving a real brief idea of what the product is trying to do. So it says, New cards to power up fan favorite decks like Android 21, Goku's Lineage, and other things. New cards to help players build their own themes like a heroine deck, which not the drug, like female heroes.
Yeah.
Heroine. Or like a Nappa and Cybermen deck and more. So it's kind of cool that they're going to be, making new stuff to help, I guess, build more like theme and tribal decks.
Yeah, I would say like helping them, make competitive potentially the uncompetitive archetypes and bring the lower tier decks maybe up a bit. Not just strictly on a tier scale, but just like playability.
It does also say that there is a secret rare. So this does seem like it is a lot closer to the old theme boosters.
Yeah, which was actually kind of interesting because the secret rare pull rate in those was like 1 every 3 boxes or something like that. And so...
yeah, it seemed a lot higher than normal.
Yeah, so that'll be interesting to see what that's going to be like. I'm guessing they'll probably finish this year out with Draft Box 6 and then whatever set 12 is. And then for the new year, they'll announce what their new type of product is going to be. But that's kind of exciting news today, whether it be, wanting to be spoiled or not. It got spoiled anyways.
Yeah, I mean, it's the same with all game communities. Like if something leaks, you can try to stop it, but it's already out there.
Yeah,
like it's gonna get spread.
Yep. And
you can kind of stem the bleeding a little bit, but it's still gonna get out there, honestly.
Yeah, just don't shoot the messenger.
Yeah.
Alrighty. Well, that kind of wraps up that topic. So let's move on to our next subject, which is kind of spicy.
Yeah, kind of interesting.
Which is going to be like a little bit about market prices and collectors coming into this game. I think because of COVID, everyone had the extra money and just certain businesses skyrocketed in sales and stuff. And it's just kind of a weird shift in economy. We saw a surgence of collectors coming into our game, which is a first.
Yeah, I mean, I know I came into the game a little bit late the first time and then really late the second time.
Mm-hmm.
It's like right when set 4 came out. I played for a few weeks and then stopped and came back a couple weeks before set 6.
Mm-hmm.
But even then, like, didn't really seem like there were collectors in the game. It definitely not to the level that there is in like Magic. But I have also been noticing that a lot lately. It seems like we're getting some collectors up in here.
Yeah, a lot of the SPRs from the older sets are skyrocketing.
Yeah.
Even some of my local friends like Marcus, he's been like hitting me up and being like, hey, do you have SPRs of these old cards? And I'm like, yeah, question mark?
Yeah, I saw, and didn't it start with like was it Godbreak?
Yeah, Godbreak got bought out or something like that.
Went up to like $150 or something like that.
Yeah, I think it went down since then. But
I know, I don't know what the name of the Broly is, but there's a Broly. That one's been on the list as of very recently.
Yeah, when the set came out, that was one of the most expensive cards. Godbreak was like, it was only expensive because it's a Goku. And then the Frieza was kind of up there as well because Broly and Frieza were the most playable.
I think that Lightning Fast Hit has started to get bought out again. I know it did when set 6 came out because of Prison Frieza.
Yeah, and the anniversary box I think was like a new hit.
And then that also, yeah.
Yeah, which it's still not very playable. And
no, but
well, it might be.
It is also a really sweet SPR though.
Yeah, true. And, sometimes that's enough for people to buy cards.
Yeah, I mean, there are some really, really good-looking SPRs from the older sets. And, I mean, we've got some really good-looking ones now also, but some of those older ones, man, they're amazing.
Yeah, I think my favorite SPR, that's actually kind of a tough choice. Actually, no, I know what it is. Even though it's kind of dumb because I hate the fact that they put text on the cards, like in the artwork, but it's going to be the Ginyu. The one that steals it's a 3-drop Ginyu that steals cards.
Oh, body change?
Yeah, body change Ginyu. That's my
You
favorite
loved
SPR.
that card, dude.
Bro, that's the best card ever.
It was pretty sweet. That was one thing that it was like on some of the SPRs from that set, it didn't bother me, but some of them like looked awful.
Purunga was funny. It was just okay.
Yeah, that one was cool. Wasn't there a Piccolo one?
Yeah, I don't remember.
I think so. There was. That one did not look that good.
Oh yeah, it was yellow Piccolo because they did Namekians in yellow.
Mm-hmm. The 1-drop Gohan was pretty good looking.
Yes, that one was kind of cool.
There's that, and then obviously the Frieza and the Son Goku.
Yeah, those ones
aren't too bad.
They're whatever. The cards themselves are fire.
Yeah, and then there was the Bardock and the Torres armband?
I don't know if the Bardock had an SPR, but I know the armband did because I pulled like 4 of them for no reason.
I don't even know what that card does, but the SPR is kind of cool.
You don't need to know what it does. It's pretty much trash.
Yeah, I kind of like how they've done like different art styles for SPRs with some of the sets. Like there's that art style. There's the couple of sets where they did like the black backgrounds with the outline of the character in the background also in like gold or whatever color. I know they did that with set 6.
Yeah, I'm kind of curious if they're ever going to do what we used to call in HeroClix called like a sketch variant, which would actually make some pretty cool SPRs if they do it right. But it was a black and white version of in HeroClix, they're figurines, but in this game it would be the card of like the actual sketch of the art.
Like the artist proof kind of?
Yeah, like that version of it.
That'd be pretty cool.
The HeroClix ones, they said the purpose was to like so you could color it yourself, paint it. But in this game it would be cool as just like a sketch, like a maybe sort of retro comic book style.
Yeah, maybe even without the coloring.
Yeah,
or maybe with the coloring. Who knows?
No coloring would be cool.
That'd be interesting.
It'd be cool if they did like full art borderless cards too, with no text, like they do in Magic.
Yeah,
like a Senzu Bean, because everybody knows what that does.
Yeah, they'd have to start with only doing it with cards like that.
Yeah, because that brings up another good topic, which is Oracle text, and because in this game I don't think that exists. Like if you know a card's name but you don't know what it does, you can't ask a judge. And
yeah, I think Oracle text needs to be in this game for the simple fact of there are a lot of cards with erratas.
Yeah, it definitely needs to be. I know Bandai's rebooting the judge program because I got an email about it like a couple weeks ago, so maybe they're going to implement that. I think they definitely should.
That'd be nice. Another thing I would like personally, but I know it's probably not going to happen, is allowing cards in other languages, which kind of goes in hand with having Oracle text.
Yeah, I think they were talking about that when there was the whole Worlds.
Yeah, also they would almost have to do it if there's Worlds.
Right.
Also, some of the other countries, their foilings are so much better. Yeah, like the French ones, they get the silver foil. It just looks so much better than the gold we get.
Silver is super cool. Or even imagine if it was like a shadow foiling where it's like black foiling instead of,
that'd be sweet.
Or like a black silver or dark silver. That'd be cool.
That'd be tight.
But yeah.
Bandai, give us Oracle text and the ability to ask judges.
And listen to our podcast.
Let us play with other language cards, please.
They might already do that. I don't know. I really don't know. Because it's never come up before,
And we've talked about that even with like our local guys, and I know there's been a lot of talk about it in the Digimon groups for that game that's going to be starting up. But like the example of like it's allowed in Magic, standard players don't really play with foreign cards anyways. It's really for competitive play. It's really like Legacy and for a little bit modern. Like people will play Tron with foreign Tron lands. In Legacy, I know players in town, their entire Legacy deck foil Japanese cards.
Yeah.
but like we can ask what the cards do.
Right.
So it's fine.
Yeah, I think it all stems from just Oracle text in this game, and that Bandai needs to. I mean, it should be just be in the Q&A. You know, have the. It's actually one of the most convenient things when I'm playing Commander. Small sidebar here. When I don't know how a card, like an old card, right? Like in Commander, they call them lords. It's like where they buff a certain type of card. So like,
yeah, there's some that are so old that they do all, which includes your opponents, and then there's newer versions of the card with different names, so it's a different card that only affect your own.
Yeah, and so, but a lot of times on the old ones, it'll say like all of your elves get +1/+1, or in this game it'd be like all of your apes get, or all of your great ape battle cards get
+5,000 power.
+5,000 power. But then they'll errata it to say like all other great ape cards, so it doesn't give it to itself and it doesn't give it to your opponents.
Yeah,
you know, and so especially with a lot of anyways, my point was that the Wizards of the Coast, the Magic website, I don't know the exact name of it, but they have the card and then they'll have all the like clarification Q&As on it.
Yeah,
which is really helpful, like when I'm playing Commander, or I assume judges know all that stuff too, and so they just need to have Oracle text. And then I don't know if you have this problem, but my phone has this problem. Whenever I go to view the Q&A, because it's like one giant list,
it
takes
not fun.
Takes forever to load. And if I go like Control F and I hit like G for Goku, it'll have like 1,000 results, and
there's no point in doing that because every Q&A has the letter G in it.
Right, and then it'll like start slowing down because it's just finding all the G's, and then I can't type any more letters because it's super slow. And it just like freezes.
I feel like their site is just not very mobile friendly, but then again, like there's some sites that like you probably just shouldn't be going through it on mobile.
Yeah, true. So,
but like even on my PC, like going through the Q&A is not fun.
Right. I think the Q&A, it would just be easier if they put it in the card list for each set. So when you look up the card, it has its erratas, and all of its Q&As right under the card. So that way it divvies it up for like loading times and all that as well.
Yeah, because then you can just search for that specific card, like you're searching through the set or whatever.
Right.
And then bam, the Q&A is right there for it.
And you can just eliminate the Q&A and just have it right there. That'd be kind of nice. Yeah. I think that would be a good change.
Would definitely make it easier for
players,
people just looking through it, and also for content creators who like to cover that sort of thing.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. So collectors are good for the game, and we're getting some, which is exciting.
Yes.
So let's we're gonna wrap up with our final topic here, which is kind of a community-driven topic, as well as some speculation of if you had to pick one deck to play in set 11 just for fun or that you're excited for, what would it be? And then we also want, at the end, we want all the listeners to comment their favorite deck of set 11, and we'll put that in the Facebook post, of course.
Yeah, anyone who, any of you guys who are commenting, post some deck lists also. Maybe those will be some ones also that we either, play against you guys, or Caleb and I just load the deck list in and play against each other for you guys and upload those. Yeah,
and like we said earlier, we do play usually weekly or bi-weekly with our buddies, and so if you guys want to see the decks played, maybe just on like a random, Wednesday night or something, we'll record it, and that way you guys can see your decks being played against other decks by different pilots.
Yep. So why don't, Caleb, you start, because I know you've paid a little bit more attention to set 11 than I have. What are a couple of decks you are looking forward to playing from the set?
So like I said before, I was in this conundrum of I'm not going to buy boxes because, I might buy a couple just because it's fun opening packs, but I'm not going to, like last set I bought a case. I'm not going to buy a case because now I'm working and going to school full time, and so it's like money's not the most frugal right now or the most, like I don't have the most money right now. And so I'm probably just going to save up for singles and buy like 2 to 3 decks complete from set 11. And honestly, if I had to make a list, I was actually thinking about this earlier today. I think it's going to be Dark Broly, the black deck. I think that'll be like the budget deck that I'm going to play. I don't think it's too expensive, but it does look a lot of fun. It's kind of like not the normal DBS play style, because like you have these 30Ks that can't attack, but then you use them to play these other guys from your hand or deck or whatever. I don't know all the exact effects, so don't quote me on that, but all I know is that your 30K 1-drops that can't attack help you play your other guys, and then they like buff them, like they'll give them crit or something like that. And so that looked like a lot of fun to play. And then I figure everyone's probably gonna be playing baby, so I'll probably try and build it eventually, but it's not going to be priority just because it's going to be the most hyped deck, I think, and everything's going to be super expensive. But I'll probably like either I'll build it or maybe have somebody else build it or something. But then my third deck that I wanted to build, and actually I have a fourth one too, but I'll go into that after. It's kind of like an extra. It's going to be a red deck. I haven't decided between Gogeta and the Swap Broly. The Swap Broly stuff has kind of turned me off a little bit because before the tournament promos were revealed, it wasn't that good in my mind, but then that new 1-drop for the deck makes it very good. The problem is tournament promos are hard to get, like we saw with the Zarbons and Ginyus for the Frieza starter deck.
Yeah.
So I'll probably end up just building the red Gogeta deck. And then my last special inclusion that I wanted to talk about really fast was Sin Shenron, which is the deck I've been playing mostly in set 10, is getting like 3 new chains for the deck.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm probably going to play that quite a lot once I get those new chains and have like a whole bunch of options.
Yeah, that one will be interesting to kind of see what dragon chains end up being the ones you play, because the more you play, the less consistent your deck is going to be.
Yeah.
So I think you'll probably end up only adding 1 chain in, and maybe just like the middle card of the chain from one of the other ones or something like that.
Yeah, I thought about that concept of like, running a 1 or 2 of like the, like the top half of the chain, like just the final boss.
That way when you use your leader, you can...
Exactly. So you're not bringing out the 1-drops, you're just bringing out the big best card.
Yeah.
And all you have to do is combo it away early or something.
Yeah, definitely something to think about with that deck. It's tough for me. I think I'm still excited about the SS4 Gohan, I think it is. The leader that has I think it's a box topper. But it comes with a unison that's a Piccolo. I'm not sure if it's a promo or if it's also part of a box topper, but I know they go together. The deck just looks cool. Also I love to play black.
Yeah.
Xenogoku looks pretty cool too.
Yeah, he looks like kind of the
just like a good stuff.
Yeah, not the Vegix replacement, but like the next best thing.
Yeah.
I mean, he might replace Vegix, who knows? He's definitely more like leader prevalent as far as like being a threat.
Yeah. So those two I'm excited about. Like you said, Blue Baby, probably will end up building it just because it seems like it's going to be one of the best decks. Probably won't build it right away though, because everything's going to be on hype prices.
Yeah.
Green looks interesting. I know we were talking earlier about Go Tanks and how it doesn't seem like it's as great as it initially looked. I'm not sure. I haven't looked that much at it. I probably will build the Babidi and Majin Vegeta deck. That stuff looks pretty sweet too. And then I'll probably end up building Garlic Jr. I think that mechanic, the Overlord Servant thing, I think it's really good. I know a lot of people have not shared that opinion with me, but getting use out of your battle cards after you've already attacked with them is so good.
Right. And then so the deck becomes like not really caring about removal during the opponent's turn because the card goes to the bottom of the deck and it's there for the turn.
And there's usually stuff in the deck that will let you play it from the bottom of the deck also.
Yeah. So you bring it out, do its thing, and then put it back.
Yeah. You overlord it to the bottom, and then you play a card that'll reveal the bottom card of your deck. And if it's whatever, you get to play it. I know there's some of those for the Majin Vegeta deck. I think there's some for Garlic Jr. also.
Yeah, pretty sure.
But it looks like a lot of fun.
It does seem kind of cool for sure. We'll see how it evolves into a deck when the cards come out. That's kind of the other thing in the downtime for DBS is a lot of people get hyped up on the spoilers and stuff. And I don't know what it is, but like I've just been playing this game for long enough where I'm content with, you know, just waiting till the set comes out and I have the cards in my hands because I don't really like playing online that much.
Yeah. I mean, it's fun. It's not bad, but if you're doing it like all day, every day, it loses a lot of the fun out of it.
Yeah, because it's like, oh, I figured out what I'm going to play. I just literally have to buy this deck and then take it to an event and then play. And then I don't need these cards anymore because the meta is going to change.
I mean, it is kind of different like when you're doing like playtesting sessions with like your group or your team, because then you have everyone's input and you get to see things from different perspectives and learn things about each deck.
Yeah.
But aside from that, just like repetitively playing online, it kind of sucks the fun out of the game.
Right. Yeah. But I mean, it's still fun. But you got to just remember to take a break sometimes.
Yep. So that looks like the end of our topics. Before we check out, just want to mention again a couple ways you guys can help support us. One, liking and commenting on stuff, subscribing to the YouTube channel, things like that. Super easy ways to help support our content and help it grow. A couple other ways, like we mentioned before, is the merch store that will be linked, as well as our TCG affiliate link, which is also going to be linked. Anything else you have, Caleb?
Who's excited for the new season of Dragon Ball? Because I heard it was starting up again.
For the anime?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's going to start up soon.
That'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, that was just like a random pop in my head. Anyways, that's going to be it for this episode. If you're excited for any of those things, want us to play some of your decks, if we get enough deck submissions, we will stream the games and play so you guys can watch us either die terribly to terrible decks or smack each other with amazing decks. Either way, we're going to get it to you guys, but you guys have to comment your lists, whether you send it to us by email or whatever. That's your job. So send us some lists, we'll play it, and that's it for this time. So this is a Sideboard Podcast checking out.
All right, we'll see you guys next time. Peace.
Bye.